What's going on, everybody? Gundam Flexing here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the just completed Reborn 100 Vigna Ghina from Gundam F91. Now, before we go into the model you see on the screen, I'm going to first go over the decal sheet and the extra pieces. So coming up is the crinkly decal sheet, and here it is. I use quite a bit, except for number 8, and these are little dark blue stripes that wrap around his upper arms. And number 17. Now this silver piece goes on his visor. Without this decal, his visor is actually blue transparent, and I thought that's a pretty cool color, so I went with that. Aside from that, you get a lot of red and white decals. You also get shapes such as triangles and squares. You also have the option, according to the instructions, to use these red striped decals that go along his skirt and the top part of his chest. And there it is, the decal sheet. The first extra piece is his collar piece. Now this piping system goes under his head, under his neck, and the one on the model is currently Sharpied silver. So if you wanted to use a different color, or you just stick with the original, you have that choice. And this isn't really so much an extra piece. This is the beam for the beam sabers, and if you watch my previous videos, I do keep the beam sabers in its runner. Now the beam saber holsters are actually mounted behind his skirt. Another extra piece here is a piece for his helmet, and it goes on the very top above the visor. There are no differences, it's just an extra piece. And another extra piece that has no difference between the model and the one in the runner is his chest piece. Here is exactly the same as the one on the model. And finally, the last extra piece here is his chest plate. Now this one in the runner is a lot smoother, and it has little indentures right there and right there. The one on the model that I'm currently using is a lot more jagged. Right there you can tell the edges right around the bottom. So looking into this model, starting with the head, I do like the blue transparent visor. I also like the shield insignia at the very top. His helmet reminds me a lot about a Roman soldier, the way it's shaped and everything, such as that. And again, I decided to Sharpie the collar at the bottom, and here it is, right there. And yes, you do have to go over some of these pieces a little more with the Sharpie because they will fade out a little bit. Let's put his head right here. Now what I think is a cool feature is his backpack system, or his I guess his flying ability here, which is jammed into his upper back. Here it is. It's pretty much like a dragonfly. So you have 4 separate wings on each side. And what you'll notice is that the top gray piece is much smaller than the bottom gray pieces. And this is important to note because on the instructions, it's not like you could play in advance. Just because they look the same doesn't mean they're all the same, because if you cut them out in different order, you're going to sort of mess yourself up, because the purple tips at the end also conjoins with the appropriate size of the gray piece. But really, these wings are very simple. It's just 2 gray pieces slapped together, and then you put the purple tips at the end. And now this is a pretty cool backpack system. It mounts into the back as such right here, and it is a very good fit, so it doesn't come out very easily. Pretty much put these wings in any kind of formation you like. The only downside is you can only move it side to side. You cannot move it up or down. Such. Looking at his shoulder, now his shoulder piece here, and it's really jammed in there, so when you do put it in, you don't have to worry about the arms coming out. Trying to just rotate it out here. So pretty much both the arms are identical. You'll notice here is the gold piping system, and if you decided not to go with the gold or whatever color, The default color is dark blue as such right here. We could go over this and paint it whatever, and it's pretty much the exact same at the back. So I think these two colors complement each other very well, the pretty light gray and the gold. And here is his shoulder, kind of like a protection pad right here, which I thought was pretty cool. And unfortunately, the one on the bottom, that one is static, it does not move. But at the side you do get these cool purple vents, so it fits the rest of the purple on the model. I did put quite a little decal here, and you get the matching one in the back. Looking at his weapon system, now these guys are Reborn 100s, so the weapon system isn't as complex as a master grade. This is his rifle. It is very simple. It's just an extra piece here for a handle and his muzzle, and then it's just the left piece and right piece, and you slap them together as such. At the bottom of his hand, he does have like some sort of padding right here, and it's not very mobile, but it is pretty cool to have right there. Now on the side of his left arm, you get 3 little indentures, and they are for his shield, and that is shield right here. That shield is pretty cool. It's sort of like stained glass from a distance. It's pink transparent. It's mounted as such in the back. And the reason why I don't use this is because this shield is so massive. So if we put this on, it pretty much cannot rotate itself out of the shoulder. It really obstructs a lot of movement for me, so I decided not to put it on. The shield itself can be taken out like this. Just take it out, and you can take out the gray piece that goes through the shield, and you're able to just simply slap on the cover back on, and that is an option, but for me I just take it both out. The shield is way too big to do any sort of maneuvering. I'm sure you could do it if you use the beam saber as a weapon, but for me it's just too obstructive. And his other hand has the bazooka, or the beam bazooka, such like this. Now again, just like the rifle, it's not many pieces. You just have the handle with the trigger, you have the left piece, you have the right piece of the main body, and then you have a muzzle, and these two muzzles are actually top and bottom, so they're separate pieces. But you do get a little cool decal right there. And these weapons fit very snug into the hand. They do have little marks here to fit right in the palm, so you don't have to worry about it jiggling in the hand or anything. It fits very well. Now, looking at his chest, I'll put this piece back. Looking at his chest, it does come in several pieces. Again, you get the red decal stripe that goes along the top. This one is different than the one in the runner. As you see, it has a lot more edges, which is what I like. There, here, and you add these cool little decals, these red stripe decals at the bottom. Looking at his skirt, now his skirt looks pretty cool, especially from a distance. I like the red decal stripes that go down to the bottom and even fits the side. But one thing that really irks me about this skirt is how easy the side skirts come off. It is literally put in through a ball joint onto the side, and it does not fit well whatsoever. It comes out incredibly easy, and it's actually very annoying. But side skirts has a limit to go up this high if you could do it without it getting knocked out, but there's nothing wrong with the front skirt as such. And of course the back is static, and here is where you see the beam saber holders. It fits pretty snug in there as such. You just take it out, and you could take them out right here, but I prefer to have them in the back as such. His main joints, especially his legs, I mean, they are very snug in there. It's not going to be easy to take them out. It will be easy, however, to take out from the ball joint from the rest of the leg like that. So this little joint here isn't long enough to really secure his legs, but for now I'm going to keep it out. So what I think is pretty cool about the legs, and again I did a gold finish right here for the front and for the back. What I really think is cool is the little ventilation systems, or I guess his aerial capabilities at the back here with these 3 little vents and such. I thought that's a pretty cool feature to have, especially with the side thruster here. What you need to be careful for is, out of all the 3, this one at the top is the one that is going to be the easiest to knock out, unlike the ones on the side or the bottom 2, which are connected from the both left and the right side of the leg. This one is connected to the top part of the joint, and it's actually hooked in there, so it's not like it's hugged from both sides, it's actually hooked. So sometimes you could accidentally knock this thing out of the way. Thank God I can't do it now, but when I was trying to pose him, this little back piece just kept coming off. Anyway, that's like one thing you want to be careful about. And you do add decals to the top of them, the top of the vents. The white decals, square shaped. So if I could get the lighting, I mean, it's just the small things that I found out that's pretty cool about this kit. Another thing that I was a little disappointed about the legs is this little thruster system here. I thought it would be pretty cool if this thing wasn't static and instead was on a ball joint so you could actually move it around. You do have a lot of side decals here and here, especially the one right here. It says warning. And you do have a chance to use a little panel lining on this side. His leg has a flap on the top, which is pretty cool, but it does have its limits. As you see here, this is pretty much how high, this is pretty much how low. And then you have the feet that could go front and back. And it's a little unfortunate because even if you wanted to put it on a ball joint or whatever, I guess for this one you can't really rotate his ankles, his ankle flexion from side to side. It can really just move front and back, but so far that's not an issue, but it would still be a pretty cool feature to have. Such like that. Like that. But yeah, the legs, the ball joint in this leg is really jammed into the, I guess, into the hips, if you will. But this little pillar is not long enough to really make the legs stable. So if you were to mess around with it quite a bit, it would come out quite easily. Put this guy back together. And that goes for the same for the top joint of his arm. It goes in there quite nicely. And as you saw in the video, it actually took quite a bit to get it out. Let me try to put it back in. There it is, and you hear the click. Such. Put back his head. And we're going to put back his backpack. Like this. Into the back. And this fits very secure into the back. And of course you have the wings, so you could pretty much bend them all in one direction. And we're going to put back his little beam bazooka. So overall, I am very satisfied with this model. I think it looks pretty dang cool. If you were to get this model, I highly suggest finishing it out and putting the red decals and white decals, and even think about putting the red stripes there and here. Again, to recap, be careful on the side of his the skirt. Those come off very easily. And also be aware that the top portion of the little thrusters at the back of his legs, the top one could come off very easy too. You could get this kit for roughly around $20 to $25 depending on where you purchase it. I was lucky enough to get this one for $21. I just happened to stumble upon an online sale and I decided to pull the trigger. Anyway guys, this is all my current thoughts I have on the Reborn 100 Vigna Ghina. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.